When people move to Bowling Green, Kentucky, one of the first questions that they ask is this: where should we live? But here's a better question: where do the locals choose to live whenever they have the option? Because when someone already understands the city, understands the traffic flow, understands school zones, the growth, and understands long-term value, their decisions are usually very intentional. So today I want to walk you through how locals here actually choose where to live and why that mindset is so much better than just a list of best neighborhoods. I'm Nick, a realtor and real estate photographer here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I get to see firsthand how people, especially the locals here, make decisions whenever they're buying, whether they're first-time buyers or whether they're move-up buyers and moving from their second or third home to their next home. And something that I've seen is that locals tend to prioritize a little bit differently than someone who is moving here for the first time. And the number one thing that locals typically prioritize first is convenience. Not just proximity on a map, but daily flow in their lifestyles. And here are some of the most important questions. How long does it take you to get to Scottsville Road, one of the busiest and most packed roads in all of Bowling Green? How long does it take you to get to downtown Bowling Green from where you live? How long would it take you to go get groceries if you had to go get them at 5:30 in the afternoon while everyone is trying to rush home from work? And a really important one, how bad is school traffic during the peak hours? Because those daily realities matter a lot more than square footage after a few months, and the locals know that. So instead of stretching out of town for more house, locals typically choose where they live based on convenience and reducing the friction of their daily flow and routine of their lives. Another pattern that I see that's different from locals compared to people who move here for the first time is that locals typically try to think long term, meaning that even if they do plan to stay for many, many years, they try to think about resale value before buying the right home. Things to take into consideration for this is school zones, even if you don't have children. They consider accessibility, and they also consider how big the future buyer pool should be. And that's because they've seen in Bowling Green how certain areas specifically perform over time. And that key awareness shapes their decisions when buying a new home. Something else that locals tend to value is balance. And this balance is between quiet and convenience, and balance between neighborhood feel and privacy, as well as balance between new construction and established character. Locals aren't just chasing whatever is the newest in Bowling Green, they're choosing what fits their lifestyle. And that brings up a very important part, and that's that there is no one best area in all of Bowling Green. There are areas that work best for different types of people, and those areas might not work for some others. A lot of locals tend to prefer established neighborhoods with mature trees and more of a settled feel to it. Some may choose to live just outside of the city limits for space and privacy, but still within a reasonable drive. But the key difference is this: locals don't buy because of excitement. They buy based on alignment. Because the locals, once they are moving, have either lived through something themselves and experienced it firsthand, or they have watched someone else experience something while moving. And that perspective can change how they evaluate a home, where it is, what the neighborhood feel is, and what it will do when it comes to living in their lifestyle. Locals tend to look right past the staging in a home, the fresh paint within a home. They prefer to look at traffic patterns, growth directions, and how different neighborhoods feel at different times of the day. Because that type of thinking is how you can prevent regret when finding a home in Bowling Green. And if you're moving from out of town and don't have that built-in perspective yet, that's totally normal. But that does mean that you need guidance a lot deeper than the surface level lists. Because the goal isn't to live in the most popular area, it's to live in the best place that fits your lifestyle and how you want to live. So if you're trying to figure that out before moving to Bowling Green, schedule a free call with a link in the description, and we can jump on a video call to talk about what fits your lifestyle, what you're looking for, and how Bowling Green can fit you. And in the next video, I'm going to break down how to narrow your searching options for homes down to 2 or 3 without feeling completely overwhelmed. Because clarity beats options every time.